no Albatross. We are getting stressed. Hey, this is Next Meridian. We are Nick and Mathilde, and we left everything behind to travel the world with our Land Rover Defender Albatross. 3 years, 7 continents, 88 countries, and just the road as a home.
What are you eating?
Pain au chocolat. Last one in France. Where are you going like that? Canada. After 2 weeks waiting for the news of the boat carrying our car to Canada, we have finally an arrival date for the cargo. So this week we bought our flights and we flew to Halifax to impatiently wait for our car, praying it arrives in one piece and with all our equipment in it. After Scandinavia, the world tour officially continues in the Americas. We made it to Paris airport and ready for the flight to Canada. We cannot believe it. It's been a while we were waiting for this moment, and it really feels like we're really leaving now. So yeah, that loop in Scandinavia was nice, but for us the point was to go way further, and so now that's what we're doing. So looking forward. Check-in done. We were a bit scared because we heard some people couldn't do a check-in without a return ticket. Here they didn't ask anything, so. Small advice, don't buy your flights too early if you ship your car. The boats often have a lot of delays, so sometimes it's just better to book last minute, even arrive just the day of your ship arrival, as anyways there is a 48 hours clearance before you can get your vehicle. To enter Canada, we needed an international health insurance with specific coverage on USA and Canada. It's very important because health costs are much higher here. We used Chapka, and we left a link in the description if you're interested. We also needed to complete an electronic travel authorization, which is called ETA. In addition, and since COVID, you need to complete the Arrive Can. It's a form informing on your vaccination status on COVID-19, and it will be requested at boarding. The process was super smooth, and we noticed that the officers were used to have travelers picking up their car to travel on the continent. We are finally in Halifax. Yesterday evening we arrived at our accommodation. It's quite funny, it's a university dorm, the traditional one, and they're renting it to tourists in the summer because the students are not here, so it's the cheapest in center Halifax. It's a very good deal, and we are just in front of the port. That's really nice, and we're staying here just a few days waiting for Albatross to come in. We picked it because there's a free parking, there's the laundry, it's full of amenities. It's not very chic, but it does the trick. This is the Gerard Hall of the Dalhousie University. This is where we're staying, and it's super well located. The city center is over there. We have down this street the shore, and we really have everything we need for the cheapest price we found. Let me show you. Welcome to our little housing. So this is the Dalhousie dorm. We're at the 7th floor. I think there's 11. We are shared bathrooms. So, okay, it's not super luxurious, but you can get your shower and you have the washrooms here. So at least it's clean, and we didn't meet anyone, to be honest. So, and then there is our room. It is a bit of a mess, but it's comfy. We put the 2 single beds together. We have desk, fairly good internet, right, Nick? Good internet?
Yeah, works fine.
Right, fine. And a view on the port. What are you doing?
Making mac and cheese.
And why are we eating microwave mac and cheese?
Well, because everything is super expensive. It's like minimum $10 for Subway sandwich, and if you go for something a bit more fancy like Asian or I don't know, you want chicken or Indian, it's easily $15-20, and it's really expensive compared to what we were used to. And so we looked at frozen food in the supermarket, and this costed like $5 or something, or $6. So we're kind of mixing between eating out and eating at home. But we can't wait to get into the car and make our own food, because that will be much better for our savings, because we have 3 years to be able to live on the road, and if we go to a restaurant, I think we'll be broke very quickly. That's why.
So?
Morning, guys. So this is our second day now in Halifax. It's pretty nice because we really beat the jet lag by not sleeping in the plane and really pushing it to the max. We arrived at 8:30 p.m. on July 9th, and we went to bed around 10:30, 11 p.m. And now, this morning again, the second morning in Halifax, we woke up at 6:30 in the morning, which is perfect, and we go to bed around 10, 11. So no jet lag, and if we can keep this rhythm, that would be amazing. This morning we're going to get our SIM cards because we both don't have SIM cards. So next step is getting SIM cards for the US.
We got our SIM card for Canada. The challenge in Canada is that data, so internet, is super expensive. We saw some sort of like plans with like, I don't know, $90 for 25 gigabytes or $100 for 25 gigabytes, and that was the cheapest. So that was a no-go for us. What we did in the end is we took a simple, call and text plan at $15 per month at the store with a normal SIM card, so that we can make some calls if we need anything. And then we used a service that does eSIMs. It's called, Nick, help me.
Holofly.
And they have a cheaper internet cheaper data plan. So you only have data, you don't need the physical SIM card. It's only something you buy online and then you scan with your phone, and then you have access to internet. So the plan we found is by far the cheapest we saw in Canada. It's $40 for 20 gigabytes. It's still very expensive compared to Europe, but at least now we have data, call and text, and I guess that's the cheapest, so we'll need to use a lot of Wi-Fi around here. We had 2 days to kill in Halifax, so we went on for touristing around and learned a bit more on the history of this town. It's quite interesting.
Yesterday there was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane. And as the light startled our eyes, we let go of disguise. And now there's something in the air, and a sparkly shimmer on our skin, restoring everything within. Dreamy, breezy, we go easy, easy on our tiptoes, undercover agents.
I got gooey mooey and
Brownie explosion.
brownie explosion. It's actually pretty good.
Boom. We spent the day visiting Halifax. We learned also a bit about the town. So it's the biggest municipality on the Atlantic coast of Canada. It's 350k inhabitants. Doesn't look huge, but I guess the population of Canada is 40 million, so that makes sense. The history is interesting. Before the European settlers, the entire Nova Scotia, so the province where Halifax is located, was inhabited by the Mi'kmaq people. They had Halifax already settled as one of their main towns called Chebuktuk, which means the Great Harbour, so everyone understood the strategic location of this place, it seems. More recent history, but Halifax was an important port during the First and Second World War. A 1917 explosion in the bay, like in the port, I think just right here. And this explosion was caused by the collision between a French vessel called the Mont Blanc, it was a munition carrier, and another, I think, Belgian ship. And this explosion was the biggest explosion known before the nuclear weapons were invented. So it was huge. It destroyed like all of this part of the harbor and the town, and caused the death of 2,000 people and thousands of people wounded. So it was a major event in the history of the town, and explains also like why this side of the town doesn't have any remain of kind of older buildings.
Easy, easy on our tiptoes, undercover agents of the other, beyond gravel, beyond road.
So Nick is trying to call the broker for the car because the boat is supposed to arrive tonight or tomorrow, and we still don't have any news from them, so we're trying to get like an idea of when we will be able to pick it up.
So I got off the phone earlier with the customs office, well, not the customs office, the broker's office here in Halifax. And they've told me that the car should be arriving within the next 12 hours, and checking on the app we can see it, it's actually not that far away. The vessel's not that far away. And so the next step is for us to wait for the car to arrive, fill out some paperwork with the broker, and in 48 hours the car should be cleared out. So that brings us to Thursday morning, 8:30 a.m. Right now it's Monday afternoon. And 8:30 a.m. we have the appointment with the broker, who brings us into the customs office. They put a stamp on the bill of lading, which is a paper given by your shipping company. So for us it was Overlander Shipper in Hamburg. And once there's a stamp on that bill of lading, then I can go to the port, which is again in another place. I think we're gonna do all of these places by metro or taxi if really needed. And then you bring that paper to the port and you say, okay, this is my vehicle, please let it out. And I think at that point they check the vehicle as well, and they might look if you brought any illegal goods or food or things like that, and they probably check if you have any soil on your car. And then I think it's cleared out, but we're gonna go through all of these steps. So now we just have to wait, and yeah, fingers crossed everything goes well.
Exciting morning this morning. So we just dropped our bags after checkout of the dorm, and now we're going to pick up Albatross at the port. So we hope that everything will work well, but Albatross is in one piece and that nothing is missing in the car. We're really excited to see our car again and be able to travel again, because we've been staying here 4 days and we start knowing the downtown area of Halifax by heart. We will do a special video dedicated to the shipping process, but here are some of the key steps that we had to complete back in Europe. First, we had to get an international driving license. In France, it takes several weeks, so better start early. Then, for Canada and the USA, we needed a car insurance in advance and got Seguro Gringo, completed already before we flew. Lastly, you will get from your shipping company something called a bill of lading. This document will be given to you again by the Canadian broker. Take care of it, as it is the only proof you have that your vehicle was imported legally and it might be requested in case of control. We just finished the appointment with the Canadian broker and we are a bit disappointed. I mean, no, I'm exaggerating, but it was so fast. We came with all the papers, we were stressed, we were like, oh, what is she going to ask? And eventually she just handed off 3 papers, some for the custom office and some for the port authority, and basta, like we were out. So now we're walking to the customs to clear the documents at the customs. Next step, the port.
Second step done. So we got into the Canada Border Service Agency, which is right here, and we gave in these 2 papers. She kept one, she stamped the other one for us, and so this is the one that we give to the terminal, and they will take this paper off in exchange for the car. This is the one we keep, which is super important because it's the only way that they know your car is legally on the continent. So this is very important. So we'll make scans of that and print out copies to give out if anybody asks, and keep the original for sure. Now, funny story, when we walked in, actually I pulled this paper back out. When we walked in and gave the paper in, she says, huh, interesting. And that's all she said, and then turned around and showed the paper to her friends. And she said, look, it's missing that information. And so the people were like, what? Yeah, so what are we supposed to do? And they're like, let me go check on the computer if I find the vehicle. And the problem is, if you look here, it says item 1, but they didn't put what the item is. So she didn't know if I had a car, if I had a van. They don't know what vehicle they're supposed to clear.
It's one heavy baby.
All they can see is that it's 2.8 tons. And so she said, luckily by putting that number, she found the car and the pictures. And so she said, we're all fine, and she cleared it. And she said at the port, they don't really check this information. As long as they have the stamp, they don't care. So super lucky, because otherwise I don't know how long that would have taken to fix, but we're good.
What kind of car is it?
It's a Land Rover Defender.
It's a 4x4.
It's a 4x4.
We got our visitor passes at the port. They gave me a jacket because I didn't have one. And now they drop us at this other desk where we gave the paper for pickup of the car. And we're waiting for the car, but we just don't see it so far.
And in the local office, they'll get your keys and whatnot. And that's just a copy of the receipt for your $50.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
And you're done and
We can.
Yeah,
You from here?
I am, yeah. Yes. Yeah.
So the Cabot Trail is the first thing we're gonna do. You recommend it? I bet.
I've been up there snowmobiling, like on a snow.
Snowmobile.
Oh wow.
But I never drove it, but I heard it was really nice up there, like in like the summer and whatnot.
Okay.
So I would say yes. Which
Other
one is it?
Defenders. It's none of
But just to go to Cape
there it is.
Breton. Is it?
It's the white one
Yay!
there. You see it.
It's here!
We checked it out. The car is perfect. It turned on directly. It's still super clean. We were so scared that we had left this open, but no, it's locked. So lucky. And the chain is still here, so that's perfect. And no bumps, no nothing. Ready to roll. Extremely happy. So yes, let's go. Let's do this. I forgot how to drive this car. Can you open the window?
What do you mean? Ah, the glass. We are finally back home. Like, for the past months, we've been going around feeling that we were like far away from where we belong, and we're back home. Subscribe to the channel if you want to follow our adventure through the Americas, Until next week!
Pretty cool student room, huh? Feel like we're 18. Noodles, mama noodles we bought in Norway, and we never finished them, and I brought them all the way to Canada. So.
And yes, he eats them dry.
I eat them raw. Try it, super good.